Here we go again on a conversation this week in clinic about the body and its ability to put itself right. And we're not making claims here. We're not taking one example and saying, one swallow makes a summer. We're saying the body inherently wants to heal unless there are barriers to it healing. Okay, and I'm going to cite with you here two examples of just two random examples over the past 11 years of examples that really demonstrate this, and also that many in sort of more conventional lines of health work understand this principle too. Okay, so one was the case of somebody who had a vertebrae, the disc between two vertebrae, removed, and after that point they had no feeling in one of their legs. And so for 7 or 8 years at that point, they had no feeling in that leg, and it was quite cool, poor blood supply, etc. And it was probably their second or third session of Bowen when they said, actually, I can feel my leg and it's starting to come back. And I put my hand on her leg and I could feel that it was warm at the thigh point, but when I touched at the foot, it was cold, okay? But then as I patted my hand up the leg, I could feel where the heat had got to. And during the rest of the session, the blood supply had gone all the way to the foot, and that person still has that use. Now, the logic to that is not as curing something, but it's simply when the body relaxes, as everything kind of opens up and eases off, and the tensions relax around the nerve, etc., and around the blood vessels, and as everything starts to change and the inflammation goes down and so on, then things can start to free up and they can start to function the way nature intended. And I'll go back sort of probably 11 years, and these were all being discussed today with a client as an example, which gave the idea for this video. But somebody had a massive clot, cholesterol clot, calcification clot at the top of their thigh, preventing the blood from flowing into their leg. So they had been told by their specialist consultant, after multiple attempts, sort of threading things up through the opposite leg and trying to dislodge this, cut it away, trying to use medications and so on to break this thing down, he was told that if he could start to walk 5 miles a day, he would be asking the body to put a new blood supply in, and he had a good chance that it would happen, as opposed to needing an amputation. This is a big thing. And in this particular case, this chap had reflexology, and after his third session, he could walk in the supermarket pain-free. But before that, even walking 50 yards would have been like walking on cracked glass. And by the end of his 5th session, he basically was up to 4.5 miles a day, walking pain-free, indicating that the body, the brain, in conjunction with the body, had decided he's going to keep asking me to use my legs. He's going to keep asking to use my legs. I need to use my legs. I need to use my legs. And the brain will adapt. And when you think about it, that is the logic to much training. Training in the gym, training athletes, etc., building muscle mass, using the muscles, and eventually the body will put more muscle there. So there is nothing dramatic in what we're saying here. It's just the body can put things better. The brain just needs it on its roadmap. And that's just something that's worth thinking about. Think about the literal logic to this and just potentially decide to give some of these things a try.